So this episode of Masamune-Kun, wow. So this episode had a lot of cliches. It really did. I mean, this series, has pretty much all the cliches, that would be in a harem series, but that is expected. But this episode was actually not that bad. It really wasn't. Now, basically, how we start off this episode is... Sorry, my phone was going off. But we start off this episode with, from last week's episode, we saw that this priestess girl ends up arriving at the scene and basically cock-blocking Adagaki and Masamune. So, in this episode, we see that she apparently thinks that Masamune is the one that she saw and fell in love with from Christmas, like a while ago, and this person that sounds like Masamune and even looks like Masamune was the one who donated to her sanctuary, so to speak. I can't remember what it was for, but the guy ended up donating to her, and ever since then, she has fallen in love with this individual that looks like Masamune and even speaks like Masamune. And the thing about Masamune is that he has no idea who this girl is. And he said he was never there on Christmas. He doesn't even recall donating to this individual because at that time, I think they said 3 years ago, he was still a fat fuck. Now, there's this one part of the episode into which Masamune, like the very next day, he ends up going into the cafeteria and ends up, getting all of these, lunches for Adagaki-san, to make up for her, so to speak, and goes to the same location, that she was at. And we have the girl with the blonde hair shooting pellets at him with a scorpion, which is weird. And she basically tells him, would you mind to have, these real bullets in this scorpion, because then I could really kill you, because what you did to Adagaki-san is completely fucked up. She eventually leaves the scene, and we have Masamune end up going into the building, saying to Adagaki, you know what, I want to make up with you. I brought all these lunches for you, and I want to make up with you. Come to find out, Adagaki is not in that location. She is not in that shed at all, and actually someone who has took her place is some mysterious cat-like girl, apparently from the episode. She is, named the mysterious cat that appears at the scene. We don't know who she looks like or who she is, but what I thought was very hilarious is that she's wearing this Darth Vader mask from Star Wars, and it's not saying anything to Masamune. Masamune just goes outside, places the bags, right at the front door, and just walks away from the scene, and then, of course, the girl with the Darth Vader mask grabs the lunches and goes away. But just how nonchalant Masamune ended up dropping the bags and walking away, I thought that was a very funny scene in the episode. Also, on that same day, we see that the priestess girl ends up arriving at the same school that Adagaki and Masamune are, going to. And we already know this is going to cause a problem, because not only do we have Masamune here, not only do we have Adagaki here, but we also have the girl with the blonde hair. I think her name was Yoshino, I believe. So, obviously there's going to be this sort of triangle when it comes to this harem series. I mean, Yoshino doesn't really like Masamune, so to speak, but I do think she will end up getting some focus later down the line. But we know for a fact that there's going to be another girl that ends up appearing at the scene, most likely, and at the same school, and things are going to get really difficult from here on out. And, I mean, already shit is difficult as it is for Masamune. Masamune ends up taking the priestess girl by the hand and runs out of the school because he wants to question her as to, who she is, why is she following him, because it's just creepy as fuck. She is being a stalker, in his opinion. And we have this scene where the two are running together, and she is like, Masamune, stop running. If you keep running, I'm going to... And then she falls on the ground and apparently is spitting up blood. I legitimately thought that this girl had a disease or some shit. Because, you know, just one of those girls who has, like, a very ill disease and who's very cute and is also, you know, the center of being attention when it comes to a harem series. She's one of those cliche characters, you know. And then, you know, Masamune is like, yo, where's the medic? Where's the medic? Emergency! You know, I gotta bring her to the hospital. And then all of a sudden, he picks up this, this packet of ketchup, and he's like, are you serious? Yo, the girl pretty much trolled him. She's just like... I mean, the girl literally trolled Masamune. I thought that was also funny in the episode as well. So, again, Masamune is trying to make up with Adagaki. Adagaki is completely infuriated by Masamune because she thinks that this is some girl who Masamune is already with. And, of course, this is gonna, you know, cause trouble in... you know, the situation that he is in between Adagaki and the priestess girl. She ends up getting very mad at him, punches this teacher in the face, and is brought to, you know, detention, into which these characters have to end up scrubbing the poolside at the school. So, while they are there, Masamune ends up spraying Adagaki, you know, to get back at her, so to speak, and she ends up getting wet, of course, takes off her shirt, excuse me, and we get to see her reveal, you know, as to where she is wearing a swimsuit, and she also tries to get back at Masamune by getting this big bucket of water, and actually she ends up slipping by the poolside and falls into the pool, and it seems like she is drowning. I don't really think, you know, she was drowning, because at the same time, she gave that little glance at Masamune. Of course, Masamune thinks that she was drowning, and that's why he dived into the pool to save her, but he is like, she ends up, you know, getting up to the steps, and he's like, looks like her legs finally touched the bottom. Looks like she's completely fine. And then we have it to where Adagaki is saying to Masamune, if you really do love me, if you really wanted to save me, prove it to me with a kiss. And of course, the episode ends off on that cliffhanger. See, you know, what Masamune-Kun's Revenge, like, it's a harem series, obviously, and it does have a lot of cliches from other harem series. It really does. But at the same time, I really like the premise of this series and how it deals with, like, its comedic moments. At least some of these comedic moments that I saw throughout this episode, and what I have been seeing in these past episodes is actually really funny, in my personal opinion. Of course, comedy is subjective, just like various other things. But I really liked how they handled the comedic aspect in this series, but it does have a lot of cliches. I mean, obviously. Of course, how that cliffhanger ended, because we know that that scene is going to probably end up being cock-blocked, you know? The two are eventually going to kiss, or about to kiss, and then, you know, they're going to be cock-blocked by, you know, probably the priestess girl arriving at the scene. So, yeah. This episode of Masamune-Kun, I actually enjoyed. The comedy was... I liked it. I really did like it, and you know, it's causing the tension between the two other characters, Adagaki-san and also the priestess girl, and most likely we're going to see later down the line, maybe Yoshino and maybe other various characters appearing at the scene. So, we'll see where Masamune-Kun goes from here on out. It looks like Masamune is going to have a lot of trouble on how to deal with this situation, especially when it comes to the other characters, but we'll see how, you know, this series ends up wrapping up. Hopefully it's not like Nisekoi. But yeah, with that said, let me know in the comments down below on what you guys thought about this episode. Also, let me know in the comments, do you want me to keep reviewing Masamune-Kun's Revenge? I'm very interested because I really do like this series. I think it's a fun series, and I will keep watching it. But at the same time, would you guys like to see more reviews from this series? I'm just very curious, because if you guys don't want to see reviews of this series, I will go ahead and stop doing the reviews, but at the same time, I will keep watching this series. But if you guys like these reviews, also let me know in the comments down below, and I will keep reviewing this series and giving you my own thoughts on each episode. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, especially when it comes to this episode, and also if you think that I should keep reviewing this series. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.